Now this is a 1/6 scale set from one of the best episodes of The Mandalorian, featuring two of the most beloved characters. This should have been a home run for Hot Toys. It's not. Now I think when it comes to the likeness and the articulation, I felt a little bit let down. And we're just going to get into why. And I did want to make that as a disclaimer before you watch any more of the video. So if you're not looking for this kind of review, please click off now. But I would just like to share my thoughts on what I experienced when actually going through with this figure. So first off, let's start off with packaging. Now it is the standard style for Star Wars as per usual. You got Ahsoka Tano and Grogu on the front. And the box is relatively big. So you are going to think that, damn, I might actually be getting quite a lot in here. Spoiler, there's not as much as you think there might be. Overall, colour scheme's nice. It does blend in with any Star Wars box. But again, nothing to really ride home about. Let's just unbox it and see what you get. As you take off the slipcover, you'll notice I did not receive a Grogu in mine, which I feel a little bit let down about. But again, not Hot Toys' fault. And you have Ahsoka Tano in the other slot, which is there. One thing I do want to start off with then is Ahsoka herself. I'm going to give credit where credit's due. I think the costume is very well designed and it does look nice on the shelf. I think they did the colours quite well and they really did emphasise some of the weathering that you get when it is on the actual costume itself. I think the tailoring's okay. It's not the best I've ever seen, but it's alright. I think it looks decent, but I think the issue is the execution on the body. The actual physique itself feels very stiff, which was a bit of a letdown. This one actually had a broken arm when it turned up as well, so I feel very, very disappointed. But with the other arm, even that one still felt a bit stiff, unmovable, and not really much that you can do with it other than move it up and down. Now I want to talk about the head sculpt, which I think is one of the biggest letdowns, to be fair. Now this one does have rolling eyeballs, which is something that I normally praise. If you was to say, oh, this is Rosario Dawson, I would not know that if I was just to look at the figure itself. Although it's still more detailed than some of the older Hot Toys models, there's just so much about it that feels like a bit more of a letdown, considering it's like the modern era of Hot Toys. I think it just looks wrong. I think the expression is a bit lifeless. And I think considering how much this figure would be from Hot Toys itself, it's unforgivable. And there's a reason why the resale value has gone down an incredible amount. You know, I had someone message me saying that they recently bought one complete for £120. And you know, this one, I don't have Grogu, the arm's broken. It's so incredibly frustrating. Let's just jump into the accessories. You get 5 interchangeable hands, which again, that's quite nice. When I say 5 hands, what I mean by that is 3 extras for Ahsoka and 2 for Grogu. You get the 1 grey cloak, a pair of lightsabers, a lantern, and 2 main display pieces, which is a forest themed backdrop with a base and tree trunk. And I mean, that's it. I believe when it first sold, this was around about £230, £240, which would be, what, $300? But considering how much this costs straight out of the get-go, I feel like this is one of the biggest letdowns in recent Hot Toys releases. And quite frankly, I think they have dropped the ball when it comes to quality over quantity. Like, they've had some releases in recent years that have been phenomenal. Upgraded Suit Green Goblin, phenomenal. I think Kang the Conqueror was a great one as well. Pennywise, great. But then a lot of their Star Wars ones have been so lackluster. I just came away a bit disappointed. And I mean, it's basically halved in price. And normally with these, when they're harder to get, sometimes they'll gain a bit. But no, it is absolutely slashed in half. No one really wants to get it for the amount it was selling for. And again, for good reason. Now, articulation. This was an absolute nightmare. So, if you ask me the question, is it good for articulation and posing? Absolutely not. I think, without question, this was the worst one I've actually had when it comes to trying to move in any sort of way. Like, it's got 28 points of articulation, right? So, not too far off the standard, which is like 30. Like, there's no ball joint at the hips or ankles. And there's like a very awkward leanness when it comes to like limbs. Like, the arms just feel really thin. The legs just don't want to bend. And then if you want to get her in any action stance, it's a fight with the body. And I can imagine the reason why this one has come to me with a broken arm was because someone was struggling to actually fight to get it to pose properly and just snapped it. Yeah, absolute disaster. It's more like a statue rather than an actual figurine. It's crazy like how they've put all of these accessories and parts in, so you're supposed to have the freedom of setting up your own poses, but there's really very little that you can do. Even the head struggles to move because of the long... I don't even know what they're called. Is it like alien dicks? I don't know. And it's such a shame because Ahsoka Tano is an iconic character, especially when it came to the Clone Wars animated series. And she got a real life representation in The Mandalorian. And this figure is such a letdown. Yeah, you can barely move the head left to right. It is an absolute nightmare. It just feels like you're wrestling with it. And there's probably a tendency for it to break. So I'm not surprised in the slightest that not many people actually want to grab this. And more people are more interested in the animated version, which, to be honest, I'd highly recommend. As far as I'm concerned, if I was to pay 230 quid for this, I would feel absolutely ripped off. And the only reason I think they threw Grogu in there was just to try and justify the price, because they know anyone will pay anything for Grogu. Even if I had him there, I feel like that wouldn't even raise my impression of this at all. And normally at this point, I'd do a height comparison, but I don't think it's worth it. It was such a pain trying to even move it that I don't really want to put it next to anything, because it can barely stand on its own. It can't move. It's a glorified figure that's actually a statue. I'm never normally this cynical. All of my other reviews, I've had mostly praise for almost everything. Like every review, I've given it at least somewhere between like a 6 and a 10. But this, oh my god, this was absolutely abysmal. So yeah, we're skipping the height comparison and we're just going to go straight to the pros and cons. Pros. It's a figure that you might be able to pose if you enjoyed that one episode of The Mandalorian. There's that. Maybe if you enjoy the Ahsoka show, there's also that. But as far as it goes, you might as well buy a statue. Like that would be a lot more detailed rather than this, because quite frankly, it's not worth the money. If you want it for spares and repairs, sure. I think if you want it as a background piece, that could also work. I don't think this is a centerpiece that you can have out full on display. If I'm wrong, please let me know down in the comments and share some photos where you've managed to get something else out of it. But I was just very disappointed with almost all of it. And the thing is, like, you might be happy with it, but if you compare this to other figures, what are the benefits of this one compared to anything else? That's what you've got to sort of weigh up. And especially in today's day and age, it moves worse than some that came out back in 2006. The cons, literally everything I've said in the video. Everything. I mean, do we need to go over it again? I feel like it will be a waste of time. It'll be a waste of my time. It'll be a waste of your time. Let's just give it the rate. If I had to rate it out of 10, and I had to buy it at retail price, which was going for $230, but now you can get it secondhand on eBay for anywhere between 110 to probably £130. What would I give it? I'd give it a 3 out of 10. And even that, I think I'm being a bit generous. The only reason I give it a 3 is because there's clearly some sort of artistic effort that's gone into it, like with the clothing and the weathered look. But yeah, there's not much other than that I'd give it any praise for. So I am trying to sell this on my eBay. It's currently at £100, but I'll be open to offers. So again, if this is something that you'd want to get for parts and stuff like that, feel free to send me a message. It's broken and it's missing Grogu. But if you'd want it, just feel free. Because quite frankly, yeah, I want it out of this house ASAP. I've not had a good experience with this figure at all. But yes, guys, if you did enjoy the video, make sure you leave a like. If there's anything I missed, be sure to let me know. And if you think I was too critical, please feel free to drop a comment as to why you enjoy and like this figure, and I'll be up for the discussion. But anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next one.